Halloween 1978, my final review for Montober 2019. And what a film to go out on. Ain't nothing I can say about this film that hasn't already been said. The film credited with being the first true slasher. Without Michael Myers, we wouldn't have Jason Voorhees or Roy Burns. Which, yeah, I figured why not be in costume for the final review. But Halloween is a unique film in that it's very minimalistic, which is something we don't see now. Now they spell more out, it's more graphic. This is near a bloodless film, but yet it's just creepy and effective. It's atmospheric. John Carpenter's score just sells the tension, and the character of Michael Myers, why I'm a bigger Jason fan. I'll admit, Michael is scarier. Why? Because of Dr. Samuel Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance. He would just give these chilling monologues about the character. I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left, no reason, no conscience, no understanding, even in the most rudimentary sense of life or death, good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this pale, blank, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. Dr. Loomis is a character, he's basically Van Helsing. He's there to sell how evil Michael Myers is, and Donald Pleasance did that perfectly. Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis, is tied with Danielle Harris for second most appearances in the franchise, which now Jamie Lee Curtis has put that over the top for most. But this film, it begins with a child. We don't fully realize what it is up front, but a child killing his sister. And then the next scene is years later. We meet Dr. Loomis and a nurse, and they're needing to transport Myers to take him before a judge. And Loomis wants him heavily sedated with Thorazine, which the nurse mentions. He won't even be able to stand up. And of course, Loomis, that's the idea. He's so petrified of Michael, he doesn't want Michael to be able to do anything. Well, unfortunately, that night, Michael escapes, steal Loomis's car, and as Michael drives off, Loomis, the evil is gone from here. And we set up the next day. We meet Laurie Strode, our protagonist, who drops a key off at the old Myers house, which was Michael's childhood home until he was committed. And Michael sees her through the window, and we get scenes throughout the day where he's stalking her. We get John Carpenter's subtle theme playing throughout the film. It's a great piece of music that just so enhances the atmosphere. And we get to meet our cast of characters. And we also get one of the early most effective scenes. Well, one of the most effective scenes. Laurie's in her room looking out the window. Michael's standing in the neighbor's yard looking up. And she looks away and Michael's gone. We find out later as she's going to babysit, her friend Annie's babysitting across the street, that a hardware store was robbed, and a mask, ropes, and some knives were stolen. And it's insinuated it's Michael Myers, but if we see scenes before that, he already had the mask. So did Michael do that? In my opinion, no. A character mentioned later who dies in the second movie, Ben Tramer, I think is the most likely candidate. because he had a similar Myers mask. In the way they describe him, he sounds like a bit of a troublemaker, so he might have stole the stuff on a bet. Who knows? But we meet ugh, Annie's father, Sheriff Brackett, who Dr. Loomis finds, and they kind of pair up looking for Michael, and we get just so much great monologue. Dr. Loomis played the part masterfully. Now, originally, Christopher Lee was wanted for the role, but Lee's agent turned it down flat without even telling him, much to Christopher Lee's dismay. Which, honestly, I think was for the better. Christopher Lee would have been taller than Myers, where Donald Pleasance was smaller, and it's hard to think of anyone but Pleasance doing this role. So, that works, and then we get the scenes at night. Michael stalking his prey, killing people, coming out of almost nowhere. We get the scene where and it's probably one of the most famous kills in the franchise, he impales Paul with a knife and stakes him to the wall, and then just the side to side head tilt. And the head tilt was actually so iconic in later Friday the 13th films, you would see Jason adopt a variation of the head tilt. And it's such a great body language for the character, which, when you're going to have a silent killer like Michael Myers, you need great body language, which was done expertly by Nick Castle. Eventually, we get an awesome climax where he starts chasing and pursuing Laurie. Laurie's fighting to defend herself and the kids. She found out her friends had been killed. She was actually had, and the kid Andy was babysitting Lindsay Wallace, who that actress is returning for Halloween Kills. She had her dropped out so Annie can basically be stupid with her friends, and they all get killed by Myers. Meanwhile, Loomis is searching for Michael, trying to keep the sheriff convinced, but they do a lot of great things to set up the stakes, like when Sheriff Brackett says, "Do you know what Haddonfield is, Loomis? Kids, families, all lined up in a row. You're telling me they're lined up for a massacre," and Loomis just grimly tells him, "Yeah, they may be." But as we get the climax, Laurie does fight Michael back whenever she can. Stabs him in the neck with a crochet needle, in the eye with the hanger, before Loomis shoots him 6 times and he falls out the window. And when we get the iconic scene, "Was that the boogeyman?" And Loomis just grimly, "As a matter of fact, it was." And he looks out the window and Michael's gone, and the look on his face is played as, "I knew this would happen." He actually talked to Carpenter about this, and he knew the "I knew this would happen" expression is the best way to do it, but he wanted Carpenter to make the decision, and he told him there's 2 ways he can play this. "Oh my gosh, he's gone," or "I knew this would happen." And when he asked Carpenter, Carpenter thought about it and went with the "do I knew this would happen," because the "oh my gosh, he's gone" would have just been too much. And the film chillingly ends with Michael Myers breathing as we go through locations of the film. This was never done to set up a sequel. It was meant to sell the fact that evil never dies. Halloween 1978, the original, is a masterpiece. It's an all-time classic that has aged absolutely flawlessly. This is as one of the films that's as close to perfect as you can get. It gives you great atmosphere and suspense, and shows you don't need a lot of gore to have an effective horror movie, which is a rare thing nowadays. It's got believable teenage characters, and it's not over the top like other films in the franchise and slashers as a whole would be. This is one of the early minimalistic slashers that I kind of wish we'd get back to, and to a degree, Halloween 2018 did get back to. This film's an A+. I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go and see it. Now, I do have a viewing suggestion. On Halloween night, play this film about 35 to 40 minutes before sundown. Somewhere around there, and just watch it. And as the sun's going down, it will enhance the atmosphere, and it'll be dark by the time the film's over. And then just when it's over, just go stand out on your porch after the credits and just look around, and you get that eerie sense they were going for, that this could be anywhere, this could happen in your town. And that's actually my preferred way to watch the film, on that day, just before sundown into sundown. Well, Montober's been a lot of fun this year. I can't wait till next year. I'm probably going to be doing a theme next year. I kind of want to do a Creature on the Loose theme, but don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll be looking for y'all in November when I do my second annual Dukevember of John Wayne reviews. So, y'all know what to do. Over and out.